Well, we take you now to Limpopo. The Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, has been leading this year's official commemoration of World AIDS Day. Newzroom Afrika's Mafakwane joins us there.
This time, we're not going to be slow. And of course, the minister is going to explain how it's going to be rolled out. But we are readying ourselves. It's very important that when there are new innovations, South Africa must not be left behind. And of course, we will be led by the Minister of Health, but we will work with civil society as well, because I think it's very important that we always move with them. As the chair of SANAC myself, together with the minister, we work with civil society all the time. We had our meeting yesterday, and we want to make sure that whatever we do, civil society input is there. So we welcome the new innovation that has been introduced, because one of the things the minister emphasizes is that sometimes people don't take treatment because clinics are far. They've got all sort of reason not to go because of stigma. People don't go because you don't want people to see that you're taking ARVs and so on. So there are all these challenges that we think this new innovation will end. As the minister will explain, the injection lasts 6 months, so there's no frequency of going to and fro to clinics. So as South Africa, we welcome that.
DP Skaramafukwan in Newzroom Afrika. I just wanted to ask, how much of an impact has the cut? How much of an impact has the cut in terms of aid, especially from the US, impacted on the fight locally here in terms of your response to HIV/AIDS?
Well, I think this is a question the minister will answer better than me, but we are still fine for now. The impact will come later, but the minister will tell you that for now we are not stopping any treatment. People are getting their treatment, and we are looking at ways of augmenting, to close the gap once that comes. But so far we are still okay. Unless Minister, I want to add on that one.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, indeed. Look, if we are getting a certain amount of money, you no longer get it. There will be some effect. But there are decisions which we have taken and we are sticking by them. That there's no South African who was on ARVs who will stop on account of us not having money to buy them ARVs. That decision we've taken long ago, and we are sticking by that. Secondly, that there should be no South African who tests for HIV, test positive, and we tell them that we can't give you ARVs because we don't have money. The reason being that 90% of all the ARVs that are being consumed by the 6 million people, we buy them from our own fiscus. 90% is our own money from Treasury, and the other 10% is from Global Fund. And I think that is what saved us. Where we are going to experience problems is, for instance, PEPFAR was running some clinics of what we call key populations, men having sex with men, sex workers, who are finding it very difficult to go to our ordinary clinics. And we are trying to find ways to deal with that, because ARVs we have, only that they are used to taking them in special clinics where they think they are protected from stigma. And that is the big problem we are faced with.
Are you hoping that at some point we'll be able to have the production of lenacapavir here in South Africa?
Yes, definitely, we are hoping so. Lenacapavir is produced by Gilead, a company called Gilead in America, and it's devilishly expensive, which we could not afford. We are now bringing the first doses because Global Fund is paying for them. But now, in terms of the rules of the World Trade Organization, if a company comes up with a new drug or a new innovation, new medicine, they've got 20 years of intellectual property rights, meaning for the whole period of 20 years, they are the only ones who can manufacture it at whatever price. No one is allowed to manufacture that drug. But negotiations and pressure were put on Gilead to give voluntary licenses. Now Gilead has given voluntary licenses to 6 companies to manufacture lenacapavir. at a very affordable price. The original price of lenacapavir is 28,000 US dollars. That's about 500,000 South African rands. There was no way we're going to be able to afford that. But now with this new innovation, the generic is going to be produced for $40. We believe we'll be able to afford it, definitely. And that's why we are so sure that next year in March or April, we launch the doses bought by the Global Fund. And from there in 2027 to 2028, we start buying the generic, which will be produced by these 6 companies. The only problem we're having is that the 6 companies that were given licenses, none of them is a South African company. And that has disappointed us. Here on the African continent, there's only one company, which is in Egypt, not here. So we are negotiating with Gilead now very hard that they must also give a voluntary license to a South African company. And we are fighting very hard for that to happen, so that the drug is manufactured here. One of the reasons we are telling Gilead is that we are the biggest consumer. You are aware that South Africa is the biggest consumer of ARVs in the whole world. 25% of all ARVs consumed in the whole world are consumed in South Africa.